Danny, I've got multiple offers. What am I gonna do?
Multiple offers on the Outer Banks? Don't panic.
Getting multiple offers a good thing. There's no need to panic.
Hey everyone, it's Danielle Taylor with Keller Williams Realty here on the beautiful Outer Banks. And today we're here to talk about multiple offers. So if you're buying on the Outer Banks, that phrase, multiple offers, probably makes you think bidding war, overpaying, I'm out. And I hear that consistently. And actually in the last few weeks, I've had some buyers that were in the same boat, and also representing sellers, some buyers that decided not to offer because of the multiple offer situation. But here's the truth. Multiple offers does not automatically mean a bidding war. And the data in Dare County and Corolla shows it. So let's take a look. Let's start with that data. In 2025, about 15% of the single-family residential homes in Dare County or all of Corolla, including four-wheel drive, disclosed that they had multiple offers. Disclosed is the key word here because that's not a required field in our MLS. So in all honesty, that 15% could be even higher, okay? Of the homes that had multiple offers, less than 1/3 of those actually sold over the asking price. And honestly, most of those that did actually go over asking were only at about 100 to 101% of the asking price. Certainly there's a few outliers. There was one weird one that went for 140 over, but let me tell you, there was a low-end outlier that went at 83% of asking price in multiple offers. So ultimately, what's the takeaway on that? Multiple offers does not necessarily mean a bidding war. So I do not want you changing your thoughts on a property simply because you may find yourself in multiple offers. Why does this happen? Why do we find multiple offers? Well, the reality is that inventory on the Outer Banks is hovering right around 4 months, which puts us in a fairly balanced market. But there's a difference between the fact that we need inventory versus the real issue being we need good inventory. And what do I mean by good inventory? I mean well-maintained, I mean strong rental history, I mean good location relative to the water, strong amenities, I mean the whole package. So when a property hits that is the whole package, the buyers show up. And that's not a frenzy, that's just demand matching the quality of a property. So here's where I want you to really think about it and have a mindset shift. Here's where buyers go wrong. They see multiple offers and immediately change or abandon their strategy. You should not do that. Whether there's 0 offers or 10 offers, the home is worth what it's worth to you. Remember, the seller's job is to get as much as possible for the property. Your job is to pay as little as possible. That's negotiation. But in a multiple offer situation, you might only get one shot. I've had buyers say before, after it closed, I would have paid that much for it. That's the exact situation we want to avoid. Here's how you win without losing your mind. First off, do not be afraid. Don't walk away and not entertain or attempt to get a property that's perfect for you just because you're being run by emotion. That emotion can be expensive, but a good strategy is what's powerful. So first off, do not be afraid. Secondly, use data first. Look at the comps. We need to look at rental income. We need to look at condition. We need to look at location. We need to be data driven. And then we layer into that, what's the intangible? What is this house worth to you? There's always a bit of emotion, and it's only at this point that that emotion is allowed to creep in to our decision making. The third thing we want to do is finally come up with a number that you're at peace with. If somebody else goes in and pays $1 more for that property than you offered, I want you to say that's perfectly fine. That was their property. That was not mine. That's the number that we need to have. And that's not overpaying or underpaying. That's simply clarity. The fourth and final thing I want you to remember is that price is only one part of the terms. Can you shorten your due diligence time frame? Can you maybe put a little more non-refundable due diligence fee up? Are you able to extend closing if that's important to the buyer? Are you maybe a cash buyer, or could you be a cash buyer? All of these things can factor into a seller's decision making, and they're not all necessarily based on price. I always, for my clients, call the listing agent before an offer and ask, what's important to this seller? Sometimes I'll find out that this seller is moving and needs a delayed closing date or would like a lease back. That might be something that's palatable to my buyers, and I can put that and craft that into an offer that makes it not just about price. It's what a lot of sellers are looking for is certainty, and certainty can come in lots of forms, but ultimately it's certainty that wins. Having said all of that, you may just be the type of person that truly doesn't want to compete. So how can you reduce your chances of finding yourself in multiple offers? First thing you can do is look at homes that have been on the market. The sweet spot is statistically is if they've been on between 60 and 90 days and have not done a price reduction. Those have the lowest likelihood of finding themselves in multiple offers. Be willing to compromise. Maybe you can step down in the number of beds or up in the number of beds and baths you're looking for that puts you in a less competitive area. Maybe there's an amenity you can do without. Maybe you'll look at a home that doesn't have a pool but has room for a pool. Factor all of those things in. Be open to doing cosmetic updates. There's a lot of buyers that don't have vision and cannot see past the current condition of a home. If you can do that, a little bit of paint and some decor can go a long way. Finally, be prepared. When the right property hits, be ready to make an offer. I'm telling you, if you go in quickly with a strong and decisive offer, sometimes you can immediately stop the seller from waiting for more offers and get that property under contract so that you can move on to the next phase. So my final thought though on this, and this comes from experience, is if you win in a multiple offer situation, do not second guess yourself. If you lose in a multiple offer situation, do not second guess yourself. You offered and or paid what that property was worth to you when you followed the strategy we've just discussed. Now it became a strategic decision and not an emotional one, so there's no reason to beat yourself up after the fact. That's how confident OBX buyers make a move and get the properties they want. So as always, hopefully you found this useful. And if you're thinking of buying or selling on the Outer Banks, make sure that you reach out to us. We always try to provide smart, calm, data-driven plans and strategies for our clients. And make sure that you are subscribed to this channel so that we see you and you catch all our updates on a regular basis. Because here's where we bring you all the things to remind you that there's no better living than Sandbar living.